Thanks for joining us for another edition of Success Stories, the TV show for business. I'm Jess DuBois.
And I'm Mark Kress. Here at Success Stories, we search for excellence in business. We look for companies who've had special success, then we go behind the scenes to find out why.
Each week we feature 3 businesses.
Well, our next featured company today, for years in the Washington area, has supplied music and entertainment to all kinds of functions.
Mark, I know I've often wondered if you were going to do your own special show or have your own party, or if you just wanted to surprise your fiancé with one special night. Where do you go and what do you do? Well, if you've ever had that question, here comes the answer.
We present our success story on the Strolling Strings.
Every host and hostess wants their party or special event to be truly unique. For nearly 2 decades, corporations, government officials, and dignitaries have set their functions apart by utilizing the talents of Strolling Strings Associates. The Strolling Strings literally surround an event with music, creating an entertaining atmosphere that complements the festive occasion. Strolling Strings has a roster of over 300 talented musicians and a diversified repertoire of musical styles, from bluegrass to Beethoven. But don't let the name fool you. Strolling Strings Associates can provide any type of entertainment. During the past year alone, Strolling Strings Entertainment has included dance bands, brass ensembles, international dancers, and herald trumpets. The variety of events at which Strolling Strings can be seen is as diverse as their repertoire. Strolling Strings provides musicians for any function and goes out of its way to accommodate every budget. They have played at events as large and prestigious as the inaugural ball for President Bush and the grand opening of Union Station in Washington, D.C. And yet, they provide the same individual attention for a wedding reception, a holiday party, birthday celebration, or that romantic dinner for 2. Rosemarie Coppola is not only the founder of Strolling Strings Associates, but as an accordionist, performs with the Strolling Strings as well.
Rosemarie, Strolling Strings is a rather unique business. Can you share with us how you got started?
Yes, Court. Music has always been a very important part of my life, ever since I was a child. As a student, I had the opportunity to perform in national competitions and was awarded a national championship of the United States by the American Accordionists Association. I also had the opportunity to perform at Carnegie Hall and the Academy of Music. In 1959, I married and moved to the Washington, D.C. area. I was involved in teaching at that time, and included in my student roster were my own 2 sons, Kevin and John. Later on, as the boys grew, I decided to pursue music once again in a performance capacity. I found immediately a tremendous need for the type of services that Strolling Strings Associates could provide.
Are you always on the move, and do you only provide stringed instruments, as your name might imply?
Although our name implies Strolling Strings, there are many occasions, such as parties at the Corcoran Art Gallery or the Women's Museum, where grand staircases provide the Strolling Strings a wonderful opportunity to perform from a stationary position. However, Strolling Strings Associates is not limited to stringed instruments. As the client requests, we may provide anything from a single musician, such as a trumpet for a wedding, or a brass band, or as we once did, provided music for The Blue and the Gray, which was a special by CBS TV, which provided us an opportunity to book an entire Civil War orchestra, complete down to the hand-cobbled shoes on their feet, authentic Civil War instruments, and manuscript music of an authentic nature.
If I'm a party planner at a corporation, how can I be sure the music at my function will be something special?
Court, no 2 parties are alike. Every party has a unique touch. We try to provide that by asking key questions to our clients, such as the location, the size of the guest list. Even the color scheme sometimes plays an important role in selecting just the right music for each occasion.
Rosemarie, at your performances, the Strolling Strings look so put together. Can you give us some idea, though, what happens behind the scenes?
Yes, Court, there are many exciting and interesting moments at Strolling Strings Associates behind the scenes. Only last week, we had booked a function where we were expected to use 8 musicians. Everything was set, and the day before the function, the phone rang. The client decided that instead of 8 musicians, they would like to have 30 musicians. Needless to say, the entire day and evening was spent in pursuit of just the right people. Once again, however, on the evening of the function, to the eye of any guest, they would have thought that this was planned for 6 months in advance. It was absolutely letter perfect. We received a letter 2 days later telling us what a wonderful performance and that they would never forget the evening that they spent with the Strolling Strings. Court, there is so much activity behind the scenes at Strolling Strings that I would like to share with you. For example, in any given week, we may have numerous performances. On any given evening, we may have 2, 3, 4, as many as 7 or 8 performances going on simultaneously. Most recently, we did 3 major events in the Washington area in 1 week's time.
You played for some pretty impressive audiences. Can you share a couple of these experiences with us?
Oh, yes, Court. Time would not permit me to tell you the wonderful parties that we have played in Washington, D.C., as well as throughout the United States. A few that come to mind, of course, would always be the inaugural ball for President Bush, several functions out of town, such as the Palace of the Legion of Honor, where we had the opportunity to perform for the 100 business leaders of the world. This function took 2 days to perform. Although the Strolling Strings were involved, believe it or not, only at dessert time and as a complete surprise to the client. We've also performed for many presidents and heads of state, such as the Queen of the Netherlands and the Queen of Nepal.
You played for audiences in the thousands, and for a single person. How do you provide music with that much variety?
Providing music for the variety is really not a problem if you look at each individual function and take it on an individual basis. For instance, if a young man calls us and tells us he's going to propose to his young lady, we know exactly the right person to send for that particular function. If it's going to be a reception for 4,000 people at Union Station, there's a very big difference. We would send perhaps a group of 16 to 40 strolling violinists to handle a function of that type.
How have you been able to attract such a strong pool of talented musicians?
You would be very surprised at the way people generate towards Strolling Strings Associates. We get calls all the time from groups that have heard about us, telling us what they do. Some very, very unique individual people as well as groups, telling us we can play music from any country. We represent England, Africa, Spain, South America, and we take their names. We have them send us tapes. We add them to our roster, because the very next phone call that we receive at Strolling Strings may be for just the type of thing that they do.
How does Strolling Strings keep up with the trends in music, and what do you think is in store for your company in the next couple of years?
Although I'm sure that the trends in music will always continue to change, I feel with Strolling Strings Associates, the repertoire that we play is always going to be very well loved and very well appreciated by our audiences. For example, we have a show we call Around the World with the Strolling Strings. We visit countries, we play Brahms, we play Strauss, we play music from all over the world. However, at the close of the show, we come back to the United States and we play everything from bluegrass to Dixieland, and we play the Orange Blossom Special. The audience reaction at the close of the show to the Orange Blossom Special never ceases to be the grand finale. We at Strolling Strings Associates are very excited about the future. We're looking forward to perhaps more performances out of the Washington, D.C. area. However, our most important thing will always be our commitment to our client and to, as we say, fulfill your every musical wish.
Quality, a degree or grade of excellence. If excellence is what you're looking for, then Commonwealth Copiers is the company you need to call. They offer only top quality name brand products like the new Sharp SD 2075 copier duplicator. The SD 2075 is 100% Sharp quality. It comes complete with a stacker finisher that will automatically print your heavy stock cover, insert dividers, staple, and stack. That's Sharp and Commonwealth Copiers, the company everyone wants to copy.
Well, that's it for another Success Stories, the TV show for business. Watch for us next week.
Till then, whatever you're doing in business, we hope you too can build a success story.